Welcome back. Oh my goodness, vacation was great, except for my rights got stripped away. I'll let that float there for a minute. No, seriously, my rights got stripped away. I'm not bitter. I'm just enraged. Anyway. Do you ever want to just scream at the void? Because I do. Jeez Louise. Anyway. When we finished this intersection last episode, it screamed out it needed to be a truck stop. It's so close to the harbor. It just needs it. It just, like, it would make sense. You would fuel up before you go get your stuff, and hit the road, so you don't have to fuel up inside the town. That would make perfect sense to me. I mean, that's, logic, I guess. Or you fuel up as you leave the harbor, and then you don't need to stop in the city. You don't need to, try to drive your truck through narrow city streets. I just drove from St. Louis to Myrtle Beach and back. And we're in a tiny car. And I'm planning, let's not get gas in the middle of the city. Let's get gas out where they made big stroads. A street that's a road and a road that's a street. It's very dangerous for, anyone walking, anyone who's not in a car. Those are convenient because they're big, they're wide, and, if you by chance mess up and you can't figure out what lane you're supposed to be in, usually the lanes are wide enough to fit two cars anyway. I am kidding. You have to use caution when you drive. But it screamed out, so I went and got this Love's. I think this is by King Leno. I think this is King Leno's Love's. It's a beautiful asset. But I tried it with parking lot roads. Didn't work. Parking lot roads, not for me. I'll just use my own. I'll make my own. I'll use a road that is a surface street and just make my own. Cars are less likely to float. I'm less likely to have issues with things floating. So if I put a dumpster in a parking lot, I don't have to really finagle it. Although cars will float when you start to use Move It tool or anything like that. I just clear parked traffic and then just let traffic fill in. And then they park, and then they generally don't float. But I only clear the park stuff. I thought it came out good. Borrowed some lights from the power plant. Apparently I hit unpause. We got a shipment. Ooh, go us. Supply chain is working. Maybe. Man. I don't know. I don't know what to think right now. I edited this video on vacation. I was at the beach condo. There's only so much time you can spend when you're pale like me out by the ocean. Had my iPad with me. Yes, I do the edits on an iPad. Shocking. Now we're building this the terminus, the point where the interstate starts and ends into Piedmont. But yeah, I was just had some downtime and put the clips together, did my notes. This episode and episode 5, I did while in Myrtle Beach. I'm recording this after getting back. Recording the voiceover, not the video. But I wanted this part to be like where, as you're driving through the highway and you're coming to Piedmont, you have your that truck stop, the harbor. It has the cargo area pretty much has its own dedicated cargo place, or its own highway access. And this, I wanted it designed to where you could get on the highway from effectively 2 different spots while it's still one connection, if you will. So you've got like the main artery that goes well beyond Piedmont. It ends up becoming going into Elysian, and then you've got this other one, which I think that street is technically 7th. When we're all said and done, now we're figuring out the grid, like how much space do I want these buildings to have? Is it an older town? Is it like super old? Are we cramming these newer buildings in where we had houses before? I imagine the town has gone through various stages of its life. Its young and naive stage. It's rebellious teenagers. It's young adult and naive. And then it's adult enough to know what's wrong and what's not. And then the angry, bitter midlife adult. Not that angry or bitter midlife adults, I mean, I don't think every midlife adult is angry. I mean, I'm about to be 44. I'm pretty midlife. My parents died 81 for my father and 76 for my mother. So if I live to be in between them, I am half-life and greater than. Which is really weird to think about. Whew! Thanks for listening to this rant. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Pipes follow roads. This is true. I will die on that hill just like City Planner Plays will die on that hill. How else? I mean, you can't just cut up someone's lawn. I mean, there are easements between streets in your house, but you know, pipes go under streets. Sucks for us when we have to drive on the road when they're trying to repair the water main. But stuff goes under the streets. So I figured that we would have an older Main Street, air quotes, Main Street, and then a newer commercial district a little further from the beach. Like we had moved, we had grown further from the shore, and we want to keep this little eclectic commercial district where Main Street was, but then move the majority of our business operations a little further so we can have a little bit more space. These service blocks are a godsend. But now, here's a quick tip. Here's a quick tip you could do with Move It. After you've gathered a group of assets and plants and whatever you want in a scene, something that you might repeat a lot to make, say, a neighborhood or something, open up your Move It, select all the stuff that you want in it. Use your little dot, it's triangle, and then your 3 dots. Export selection. Give it a name. Hit export. And now to reuse all of that hard work, find what you called it. Plop it back down. You could fill an entire neighborhood and then change a few things like colors with painter, add different trees, different plants to make each one slightly different, but the heavy lifting is done. This is great for anyone who's detailing or someone who's diving into Move It. Maybe just starting to detail or just wants to plop a bunch of stuff down and call it a day and then worry about details later. That was a great coffee break. I needed it. So now we're going to quickly expand the city. Like, by quickly, I mean at the end, it's like we snapped our fingers and suddenly the city was built. You briefly could have caught a preview of the downtown skyline if you were paying attention. But Move It's import-export feature is invaluable. I don't know how we could have done any of this stuff so long ago without, you know, going crazy. Maybe that's the feeling. Oh man. This coffee's great. I wish I could give you some. So the idea with the town is that it is on an East Coast, which I got a lot of inspiration from Myrtle Beach. I don't necessarily want to maybe destroy the map to make it resemble more like the East Coast. Maybe that's a future build. As long as I'm allowed to make YouTube videos and play video games. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not in the mood today to record this. And it has nothing to do with not wanting to do. It has everything to do with everything that's affecting our lives in the United States. But I imagine owning one of these homes. Being that close to the beach. Except for you would have hurricanes. Now these are a mixture of, I don't know if I have the colonial set in here, but these are a mixture of the Victorians you commonly find in San Francisco. The painted ladies. Oh my god, those models are fantastic. And I don't know who made them. But they are absolutely fantastic. I don't know if the craftsmen have made it into this collection. These are Victorian, the painted ladies, and Queen Anne's. You find a lot of Queen Anne's in Australia, but you find a lot of them in the States too. And then some of the other, not early neighborhood, but like what I call the near north in my mind. Yeah, these are Craftsman. Oh, these are such beautiful homes. If you've ever been in one, ooh, I'm jealous if anybody's got one. If you live in a Craftsman home right now, tell me. I want to know. I want to know, and I want pictures. I live in a mid-century house, but it's definitely not mid-century modern house. It's built in 54. It's cute. Definitely is getting renovated. Oh my goodness. We have to do stuff to the house. It is getting of age that I don't even know when the people last did some stuff. I'm probably going to be rebuilding my deck by myself. I've got time. Might as well learn how to do it. Borrow some power tools. Call it a day. And then when the deck is built, I can say, I did that. Screw you and your tens of thousands of dollars. No. I would gladly pay someone to do it, but, you know, if I can do it, I'ma do it. My husband and I just finished demoing our basement. We had some water challenges with all the rain we had, and obviously as the house is aging, it's, what is it, quickly coming up on 70 years old. The forces of nature pushing on your foundation, your basement walls. So when we bought the house, that basement was finished, air quotes. It had carpet, it had paneling, it had some drywall, and the ceiling is done. And it's half the basement. The other half is unfinished, and that's where the washer and dryer is, and some storage. So we ripped out the drywall, ripped out the paneling, ripped out the carpet, rented a dumpster, chucked it all in the dumpster, got rid of some other stuff in the dumpster, and now we're going to refinish it. And part of this is brought on by the fact that earlier in the summer, I couldn't get access to my studio because my in-laws were in town using it as their bedroom. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to these cinematics. I'll see you next video. Stay safe, stay humble, and don't let the world throw you off kilter.